Australasia, good afternoon, America. It is your job now to make your room as dark as possible. For those of you in Europe, we're already cloaked in darkness. It will get much darker. But first of all, we should find out precisely where we are, with the flavor of what is to come. For what you are about to experience is real. Tonight you will see spirit. You will experience something that maybe you have never dared dream exists. Many famous people have tried to explain what it's all about. And yet the one person who seems to have succeeded best, the late John Lennon.
You then believe in life after death?
I do. Without any doubt, I believe in it.
Have you had any special experiences that make you believe so convincingly?
I've been aware of a soul and been aware of the power. Somebody asked a witch on TV, are you a black witch or a white witch? And she said, there's no such thing. There is a power which people tap, and they use it for whatever ends they use it. And God is a power which we're all capable of tapping. We're all light bulbs that can tap the electricity. You can use electricity to kill people or to light the room, you know. And God is that, neither one nor the other, but everything. And we use him to our best ability. And it's no good blaming God for war, because you can use the H-bomb for cheap power throughout the world, or you can use it for a bomb, you know, the H-power, whatever it is, atomic power. And God is that. You know.
What does life mean to you, John? Would it matter to you if it finished tomorrow, or do you want to live to an old age?
I'd like to live to a ripe old age with Yoko only, you know. And I'm not afraid of dying. I don't know how I'd feel at the moment, but I'm prepared for death because I don't believe in it. I think it's just getting out of one car and getting into another.
And yet last Halloween, if you dare to do what I will have you do, some of the miracles are quite frightening.
Remember you played a tape about the bloke who fell on an electric fire and burned to death?
That's right, yes.
Well, when that was actually playing, I was sitting in bed and shiting myself as normal. And as soon as it finished, my lighter that was beside the radio picked itself up and threw itself across the bedroom.
That's impossible.
It happened.
Those people who don't believe and think that Halloween is just bogus, and there's plenty of them, your lighter picked itself up and threw itself across the room.
It did, yes.
And you're not making that up?
I am not making that up. I'll swear on my grandparents' life that happened. The exact time that the bloke was like screaming, everything finished, and you just came on and says, no, it's not scary. The lighter just flew across the bedroom. I locked myself in the bathroom for about a quarter of an hour before I picked up the courage to go back into the bedroom and pick up the phone and phone. Yeah. It was quite scary.
Things will happen tonight in your house, in your place of work. We've even had things happening in cars. Sometimes beautiful things happen.
I never cried, and just tonight it's hearing everybody.
It's not a bad thing to let it out, you know.
I know, but I just needed somebody to talk to.
That's all right, Terry. That's okay. I just find that from time to time people have said to me, I had a bereavement and then I lost another relative.
Yeah.
And you think, is it a coincidence that suddenly after years of not having any bereavements in your family, you get two close together? I don't think it's a coincidence when a man who loses his wife dies 2 weeks later.
No.
Those kind of things aren't coincidences. They happen too often to be a coincidence. They let themselves go to China.
True.
I think that's a lovely thing to do.
Yeah.
And yet it's also on Halloween, when all year we ask you to send in any recordings that you may well have been able to put your hands on, of ghosts, of spirit. And yet maybe the most incredible one was the tape that was sent from an answering machine in Norway, snatched by the police after a man committed suicide. His wife and child had gone to the supermarket, while the man, who was terminally ill with cancer and only had a few weeks to live, discovered that they'd been hit by a truck and killed. He didn't want to live anymore, so he phoned his only other living relative, his sister, who was out. He felt lost. As a member of the Norwegian army, he had a pistol. He held it to the side of his head, and he blew his brains out. After leaving this message, you will hear this man die. And yet the thing to concentrate on is what happens after. Because on the tape, although the two had been dead for almost a week, you can clearly hear his wife and child, as if to summon him.
Du er min eneste gjenværende slektning, og jeg beklager at jeg plager deg med det her. Jeg har lagt igjen forsikringspolisene i garasjen sammen med bankbøker. Du får både huset og bilen, men begravelsen er det allerede gjort opp for, og jeg skal begraves ved siden av kona og sønnen min. Da Katarina og Jon døde, så har jeg ikke vært den samme siden. Jeg har ikke hatt noe å leve for, og jeg går nå fortsatt rundt her, men jeg har innsett at i dag endelig tida mi kommer. Så jeg skulle ønske at du hadde vært hjemme her nå, så har jeg fått snakket med deg. Jeg har sånn lyst til å si noen ord bare en gang til. Jeg er så glad i deg. Unnskyld.
Vi er her.
Nei, det er ikke sant.
Family of the woman identified both of those voices. From the man's death to the time that was played on Norwegian radio, only the police had access to the tape. Some people say that negative energy is not real, but there are real poltergeists.
I have got my house, call it an entity, call it a poltergeist, whatever you like to call it, it's real. This is not a crank call, because this thing physically attacks us. It first attacked my daughter. When you go to sleep at night, if you're lying on your back, around about 3 o'clock in the morning, you just hear this heavy breathing, and it's like, it breathes really heavy to just get you slightly awake. And then once you're aware and you're awake and you hear it, the only way I can describe it is like a 12-foot man weighing about 50 stone. It slams down on you. You can't move. You're completely paralyzed. It gets in your mouth. You can't cry out or anything. And it's punching away at your stomach. It lasts for a few seconds, but it feels like hours.
We have Fiona from Washington, who I think's on 5. Hi, Fiona.
Hi. Cut the story short.
Right.
1980, I lost my son of cot death, 9 weeks old.
Oh, I'm sorry.
9 years later, my father-in-law died. My son was born on a Friday. He died a Friday, 26th of September.
Yeah.
And my father's husband-in-law died on the 26th of September. Now, I tried to experiment. In the mirror, I have a sort of a small mirror with the either sides of another small mirror, so it closes in it.
Oh, yes, I'm with
the
you.
country style.
Yes.
And when I removed the towel, I hasten that my mother died October 13th last year,
Right.
and my father died 2 years previous to that.
Yes.
Now, I dislike my parents intensely. I spent all my time worrying in the past about will my child be with them.
Right.
And tonight, when I took back the mirror, there was my father-in-law and my son in the main mirror, and my mother and father were on the other side of the mirrors.
So your child was with someone that would love him?
That would love him, protect and care for him, yes.
Isn't that fantastic?
It's all I can ask for. Now I can't look after myself, but...
Yeah. Oh.
So, the heart's still racing.
Could you imagine anything more wonderful than that?
Oh, this is my Christmas, this is my birthday. It's all come at once because since 1980, my life has been sort of petrified. My father and mother got there first.
Oh, I can't believe how you feel.
Oh, it's better than winning the lottery, I can assure you. I mean, in every cot death, you blame yourself. My father-in-law, my son.
Right.
He's safe.
How will it go for you tonight? For you will have genuine experiences tonight. This year has already been amazing on the Night Owls program. If you remember, we sent 2 skeptics, 2 scientists, and a singer to Chillingham Castle. One man who knows the difference between fact and fantasy. We put him in Chillingham. So you've been surrounded by bats. Then what happened?
On the balcony, there's a door leading off to the, well, an archway leading off to the left and the right. And this large shadow that was quite large, I would have to say it was sort of man-sized, dashed out of the archway, along the balcony, lost sight of it, but it moved along rapidly. Well, it moved out of the doorway, through the doorway, it went onto the balcony maybe a few feet, and then I saw it, that was it, gone.
So first hour in there, and you've seen a ghost.
I can't think of any explanation for it.
Now, you're a psychiatric nurse.
Yep.
You're not prone to flights of fancy here.
No.
And how clearly did you see that? That's not an imagination thing.
No, I saw that quite clearly.
And then later, in the museum...
One unusual thing was that this rogue breeze caressed my face from 2 or 3 different angles. Couldn't pick it up from the fireplace, don't know where it came from.
Because that room is quite
airtight, I would think. Breeze just like caressed my face, but not from the same direction all the time.
And it got stranger. A lady who did not believe went into the oubliette, looking down on the body of the open grave of a broken child. This was her miracle. Now, while you were in that dungeon area, you could see through the hole in the floor the body of the child, and you decided to do a particularly lovely thing, and that's to put an unopened bud of a rose as a tribute to the young girl who'd passed away in agony in there on the floor. And what happened?
And the smell filled the room to the point where it was overwhelming.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that was like really, really like a payback. It was really, really weird.
That's impossible, isn't it?
Oh, it was impossible because, I mean, they've been in my bag all the time and I hadn't noticed them.
You hadn't noticed any kind of smell?
No, and then I just put them down on the grate and just the smell was overwhelming.
One single rose,
One rose
completely filled the room with perfume.
Yeah.
Can't be done. So apart from being swooped on by hundreds of bats, what does it mean to you, Chillingham?
Yeah, there's something here, and I don't know what it is, but it'll either terrify the life out of you or completely intrigue you.
Well, we have people at Chillingham tonight. There was someone else who came to Chillingham. She really didn't like it. This is amazing. 1 hour, 40 minutes into our Chillingham Castle challenge, and it looks like this woman is going to get out of there. We go over to Lynn now.
Hi.
What's happened?
I went into the minstrels and they closed the door. You know the balcony?
Yes.
There's something on the balcony.
You saw something on the balcony?
And it's something very, very, very nasty.
Right.
I am not staying a minute longer at Chillingham Castle. I'm leaving. I'm going. This sounds chicken to anyone out there. You be in my place and you see what it's like. Because quite frankly, I'm scared shitless in here. From the minute I walked in, it's just felt so claustrophobic. It is extremely oppressive. Honest to all those skeptics out there, there is something at this castle, and it's something very, very dark and very, very nasty, and that is the reason why I'm getting out of here. Quite frankly, whatever it is doesn't like me.
And we got somebody else going in there on Night Owls tonight. And for those of you who do not believe, we had many unbelievers last year. The only thing they have in common now
is there, believers? Success?
Yeah, I'm a bit freaked out, actually. You'll have to excuse us because my heart's, like, jumping out my chest.
What's happened?
Well, that was really weird because I was trying to, like, think of me gran and everything.
Yeah.
And, as you know, like, as you, like, turn around the room, and I saw, like, this shadow, like, just walk into where the mirror was, sort of where the mirror was looking.
Right.
And then both light bulbs in my living room blew.
I can't believe what I've just seen. Well, I had my mirror and I had the 4 candles lit and my flower in the saucer. I'll tell you what I did. And do you know, Alan, as clear as can be, the shadow came in small bits at a time up the wall. And it was me mum. It was her outline, and it was her, the hair, me mum. I know it was me mum. Me heart's still pounding.
Why? What's happened?
I've seen 2, Alan.
You've seen 2?
2 shadows.
I've never actually seen my mum before. She
Right.
died when I was like 2 or something, you know, and I wasn't expecting anything to happen. And I was doing it, said the prayer and all that, and I looked in the mirror and just shadow walking.
I'd see me grand in the corner nodding at us.
Yes.
Well, about 20 minutes later, I was lying in bed, and it's where I'd done the incantation. There was like just a cold breeze go through my bedroom. Well, it's not very big, and I've got like a spring-mounted door.
Yes.
So it's got to be pulled to be opened.
Right.
It's no breeze could open the door.
Right.
And the door opened and shut, and there was a smell of Cossack hairspray from years ago, which is what my granddad used to use, and it just really freaked us out because I thought that would be it, seeing like the figure of him in the corner.
No, not necessarily.
I feel happy because I feel that she was there. Yes, I feel really happy. I feel at peace.
And you saw this?
Yes.
Knives flying around the kitchen?
Yes.
Right.
The crucifix that my mum, because she had always felt that there was something not right in this house, she bought us a crucifix. That fell off the wall. We used to hear footsteps outside the house, but they weren't going anywhere or coming nearer. They were just there. They weren't fading or getting louder or anything. They were just there. All the pictures kept falling off the wall. Glass was breaking, and the house just went. Every picture fell off the wall. All my perfumes and makeups come off the shelves, and my mum, me, the kids were in. That was just horrendous.
It's really frightening. You're actually asleep and you wake up and somebody's actually sitting over you in bed. It's frightening to start the house at like 3:30 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? And we're like, oh.
Yeah, I bet.
But didn't actually know like what to do at the time. Well, I did actually see a priest. I mean, we had the house blessed. It really hit home.
Because that's what happened to you. The bed was flung all over your bedroom.
That was it. And somebody who was in our house and they said, oh, it's all superficial sort of thing. And we're saying, well, no, that's what actually really happened to us. I mean, I woke up and somebody was actually in the room with me.
People won't believe you.
Exactly.
What message have you got to give to those people now?
What does it actually take for you to believe things that do happen?
Perhaps you need to see one. You'll see one tonight. You're listening to Alan Robson's Night Owls. Once again, I ask you, wherever you are on planet Earth, to make the place where you are now as dark as possible. It is time to begin. We're going to start with an incantation from 1450, designed to protect against the evil ones. Dark powers, dark shadows, creatures of the eternal night. We crave forgiveness and ask that tonight you pass us by. We give you reverence. We give you honor and respect. So take us not as thy prey. Seek out another, less fortunate. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you.
And now it's time to begin. Together, we will walk through the dark places. As we begin Alan Robson's Night Owls, Halloween 2002.
Welcome to Alan Robson's Night Owls. If you're going to ring in tonight, there is only one subject on everybody's minds. We have a number of things that you're going to be able to do. Round about midnight, you will see spirit. We're going to bring it to your house. And maybe for the first time in your life, you're going to experience things. We have a number of challenges. We also have people all over the place, one or two having difficulty finding their challenge areas. We wish them well and hope they get back alive. If you want to give me a call now and tell me about your ghostly experience, we can do that this hour. 01914 883188. When did you interact with something you didn't understand? Have you had your home exorcised? Has something amazing happened to you? 01914 883188. We're going to be talking to people all over the place to check with them, to see if they're in position, to find out what they see. We got a number of people from Metro as well, in various places, and there is one man who has really upset and annoyed me. His name is John Murray from Peterlee. I was supposed to go to one of the more haunted places in Britain tonight, but he annoyed me, so I've sent him. He is currently blindfolded, handcuffed, and in the back of a blacked out van on his way to a dark place. So wherever you are, tell me what you see after midnight, after we carry out our incantation. If you experience anything in your home, that is a success. It is not something to fear. You ring me, Alan Robson, Metro Britain's most listened to. And our very first caller tonight is Zach from Darrishall. Hiya, Zach.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello. How many stories can I tell?
The best one.
Right. Well, once my granddad came down and I live in a pub, see.
Right.
And what happened basically was the bottle of whiskey slid along the shelf and smashed on the floor.
And this was clearly seen, was it?
Yeah.
And no hand moved it, lifted it? That's amazing.
Yeah, and the next one was like, my granddad had a glass of whiskey on the bar.
Yeah.
And it's like the glass completely obliterated. and it completely, all the whiskey was straight under the whiskey tap.
Is there any story connected with the pub? Or, have you got any story connected to it that tells of the spirit that you've got infesting the place?
I'm not completely sure, but I know we're on a ley line.
Right. Oh, you're on a ley line. Oh,
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's an energy line that circles the earth, and it goes right through your pub.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, anything else, Zach?
No, not really. Oh, yeah. One time, my granddad came down, and we were staying there, and the door in the men's toilets completely buckled, and shut up, William! Everything completely buckled.
Right.
The hinges and everything.
So you've got no doubt that place is haunted where you are?
No doubt.
Be interesting to see if anything happens tonight. But thanks for coming on, Zach.
That's okay.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye. 01914883188 already. Email heaven for me, because there's so much coming through, and the ones that will be read out tonight, of course, will be those related to our special Halloween show. Chris in Crownington says, Alan, tonight is electric. I know something is going to happen to me. My room is pitch black. Everything is set. I cannot wait. Thanks for being with me, Chris. Our next caller somewhere is Laura from Penshire, who's on for. Hiya, Laura.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling.
Right. I've got a story to tell you about ghosts and stuff.
Right.
When I was about 5 months, right, my mum's nana took poorly, and she was in hospital. She was in a coma. And, her husband had died about 10 years before, right? And, after a few days, there was no change. She was still as bad as she was. And me mum went to bed one night, and I slept in a cot beside her bed. She phoned the hospital, and the hospital told her that there was no change in her condition. So she went to bed. And about 2 o'clock, she woke up, right? She was shaking and stuff. And she said that she saw this thing in the room.
Right.
And it resembled her granddad. And he said that it was me nana's time to be with me granddad, me mum's nana and granddad.
Yes.
That it was me nana's granddad's. Right, hold on. Right. It was her time to be with a husband.
Right.
And he picked me up out of my cot and kissed me head. And me mum jumped up out of bed and ran to the phone, and she phoned the hospital. And that's how my nana was. And the hospital said that there was no change. So she went to bed again. And then my dad, the phone went about 2 hours later, and my dad answered the phone.
Yeah.
It was a hospital to see that my nana had died.
Oh,
so
that is
mum,
weird.
She didn't know if she dreamt it or if it really happened. But she's...
Well, we hear a lot about premonitions of death, things that happen immediately before somebody that you love passes over. And the amount of times that we've heard on this show, especially, people who have had this experience and physically seen someone who might be 30 or 40 miles away.
Yeah.
So, I think that's certainly one to consider. I think it's a nice thought, isn't it, that someone would want to come to you and say goodbye?
Yeah.
Lovely. Anything else, darling?
Right. Can you do us a favour?
If I can.
Can I say happy birthday to my dad?
Go on then.
Because it's my dad's birthday today. And
Halloween?
Yeah, I know.
What does he look like? Is he a monster?
And I've been to a Halloween party and I haven't seen him because he works night shift.
Right.
Does that work now?
He lives in the darkness, does he? Okay, go on.
And could you tell us anything about the Foo Fighters concert?
Yes.
In Newcastle.
Yes, but not tonight because I'm interviewing them. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, darling. Bye bye. 01914883188. Kate in Newbiggin Hall Estate says, "Hi, Alan. The show's just started and I'm crapping myself because animals can sense things, and I have both my cat and my rabbit in here. Presumably, like people take canaries down pits, so they can sense their response. My candle is flickering like mad. I doubt I'm going to get any sleep. Say hi and don't be scared. To Stacey, no, be scared. To Stacey, Emma, Lucy, Michael, David, Lindsay and Barb's love, Kate. Also tonight we're going to be giving you some genuine recordings of actual ghosts. Things that you've never heard before. We've been collecting them all year. And I must admit, we've been sent about 100. I'm only going to give you 4 or 5 tonight. But they're the 4 or 5 absolute best. 01914 88 3188. We got Susan from Choppington. Hiya, Susan.
Hiya, we've just come back from Chillingham.
Oh, what was it like tonight?
A bit iffy.
What do you mean?
Walking from the car park.
Oh, yeah.
Along that dark road. I mean, we all had torches. But,
yes.
And your eyes was everywhere.
Yeah, I bet.
But we took a digital camera.
Right, good.
And we've gotten the most amazing photographs.
What's on them?
Little tiny orbs.
Orbs everywhere at Chillingham.
And I mean, we've sort of took photos and then took other photos, and they were there 1 minute and then not there the next.
Yes. It's the energy that's in the air there, because it's everywhere. Even, in the car park area, everywhere you go, there's that kind of thing going on. It's all over. So congratulations.
It was in the torture chamber.
Oh, was it?
What it was, we stood beside the rack.
Yes.
And I had said to my friend, I says, can you feel cold? Really cold. She says, I can. And my hubby took a photo.
Right.
And it was sort of just above our head.
So that's why you were cold, because you were either beside or in the energy.
Well, my hubby's decided to download them.
Right.
And he's going to email
Wonderful.
some of them to you so you can have a look.
If he does that, we'll put them on our website so everybody can have a look at it, and that's fantastic. Well done. So it looks a bit different, Chillingham in the dark, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I've got to say, we didn't believe anything before we went, but this has changed my mind a lot.
Because the thing is, you think that what you see through your lens of your camera, your little viewfinder, you think that that's all that you can catch.
That's right.
And this is proof that there's more there than you can actually see with your eyes. But now, high-tech equipment can pick that kind of stuff up.
I mean, we had a crowd around at the finish, looking at the pictures and sort of the sheer amazement in some people's faces.
Right.
And at the finish, my friend, she says, no, we'll have to go now.
Yeah.
We'd had enough by then.
Get out before they lock the gate.
Yeah, and we spoke to some of the people that's staying there tonight.
Oh,
the
yes.
people from Boma.
Yes, from the forces.
We had quite a chat with them as well.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, good on them stopping in there, like.
I would imagine was there quite a few people down there?
There wasn't as many people as what I thought would be there.
Right.
So the rooms were fairly quiet at most times.
That's great.
And in the torture chamber, at one point, there was only the 4 were in there.
Right. Oh, that's even better, though, because if you're in there on your own, you can concentrate on things.
That's it.
That's great. Well, congratulations. Well done.
Okay.
That's our first result of the night. Thanks, Susan.
Thanks, bye.
Cheers, bye-bye. So they've been to Chillingham. They didn't believe before they went. It's one of those things that people who don't believe want to try, obviously. And they got a result. Rebecca in Durham says, I'm originally from Durham, but I'm currently at Keele in Staffordshire. Me and my friends listening on the net, it's the first time they've heard one of their shows, and they love it as much as I do. We are scared already and can't wait to get more scared. Happy Halloween. Rebecca, happy is something you decide at the end of the show. 01914 88 3188. And we have more from you after this. Alan Robson with you on the big one. And an email from James G, or James G, says, Alan, I am sitting alone in that, pardon my English here, because there's going to be an Anglo-Saxon word thrown at you that's a naughty word, but I understand exactly what he means. James says, I'm sitting alone in the house talking to my mate and I'm scared shitless. Alan, what am I to expect? Am I to fear the ghosts that I see tonight? Depends on the ghosts you see tonight. We are having results. We've got night owls everywhere. Our first result has come on. I think it's Nick who's on line 7. Hiya, Nick.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, mate. Now, you are near a castle. You are by a beach as well. I don't want you to say precisely where you are for obvious reasons, because we don't want you to be joined by wasters, okay?
Right,
that's the deal. So you're near a castle. You're also near a beach. You've had a result. What have you seen?
We've just been taking some pictures of each other with a digital camera.
Right.
And we just took a picture of one of the lads, Ryan.
Uh-huh.
And there's an orb which looks to be about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, down sort of just above the reeds and stuff by his leg.
Right.
So we've got our first orb picture, so we're really excited.
Isn't that great? Because a lot of people have been up to Chillingham. We've had some orbs in Chillingham taken by digital cameras too. It's fantastic. What you should expect where you are, because the last time we placed somebody there, and we haven't placed anybody there for about 4 years, the last time, and it was round about 12:30ish,
yeah,
dark shadows, and not just ones. 7s, 8s, 9s. If you could get a photograph of something like that,
right, okay,
that would be quite something. Now, the place that you've got to look for is the place directly behind the structure.
Right.
Where there's one part of it where it almost looks like it's the highest point of the wall.
Yeah, okay.
That was the area that they had some success, so it might pay you, particularly around about 12:30.
Right,
That's
okay.
the place to kind of be, if you possibly can. And even if you, have you got torches and stuff?
Yeah, we've got loads of torches.
Switch your torches off.
Yeah.
And then take a couple of shots. Just see what you get. You never know. We're fishing, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll do our best, like.
You've had your first nibble. Congratulations. Ring us on the hotline if you get anything else. You'll be straight on the show.
We will do.
Good lad. Well done.
Right.
Cheers, Nick. Bye-bye. Oh, it's happening. It's happening on the northeast seaboard. Andrew in Margate says, just joined the show from Margate in Kent and listen to your Halloween show every year. Glad we can still hear the show via the net. Hope the show goes well. My family are looking forward to it. Good. Strange choice of words. Looking forward to something like this. Nadine from Forest Hall's next. Hi, Nadine. Hello.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. What have you got for us?
Hello. Well, this is the story of when I was on holiday.
Right.
What happened, right, was me and my family were booked a holiday at a house called Priest House.
Right.
A massive, big house in the countryside.
Yeah.
It was actually Biddlestone, Rothbury Way.
Uh-huh.
And we're in this house. And we've actually booked this house several times, okay?
Yes.
And the bedroom that me and my husband took was, I don't know, I always felt there was something watching us in that bedroom all the time. And this is going to sound really strange, and I don't know how to put this, but I had a German Shepherd at the time called Zelda. And each time we went to this house, the dog actually did something outside this bedroom when we're actually staying there.
Did something?
You know, like,
Plopped
the
itself.
dog never did anything like that. She was never that way inclined.
Well, it plopped itself?
Yes.
Right.
Outside this bathroom and this bedroom. Okay? Now, one night we'd gone to bed, and this is the honest truth. My husband, he's a non-believer, and we'd gone to bed, and we felt something strange, and he actually woke me up, and he said, I'm being pulled out of bed. And I said, what do you mean? And he was actually being pulled out of the bed. He was actually being pulled out of the bed, and I pulled him back in the bed.
Something invisible was pulling him out of the bed.
Pulling him out the bed. I swear on my life, something was pulling him out the bed. And I pulled him back in, and as I pulled him back in, bear in mind, this house, all it was old, it had been all, sort of renovated, and it had double glazing. As I pulled him back in, there was 2 windows in the bedroom, and then burst open, and the wind just blew the curtains out outside, you know.
Right.
And he jumped out of bed and he says, how can it stay here? And we're like, shut the windows, and we ran downstairs to where my mum and dad and that were.
And this man's an unbeliever. He doesn't believe.
He didn't believe at all. He didn't believe it.
Yes.
So anyway, right, the lady who owned the house, when she came, she used to let you book the house, and then you always had to pay your money in, like when you left the house.
Right.
She came to the house and she said, have you had a nice day? And yeah. And I said, well, we have. And I said, I've had an experience, and I told her what had happened.
Yeah.
And she said, years and years ago, this house priest used to live in this house, and they died in this house. And there was a spiral staircase, went right up to outside the bathroom. This was like a second bathroom, which was right outside the bedroom that we stayed in.
Oh,
and I said, oh, blimey, I got this shiver, and, honest to God, I mean, this You know, she
Oh,
said,
there he is in the background. I tell you, if there's one thing that will convince somebody about ghosts, it's one of them lifting you out of your bed.
Well, he wasn't getting lifted, but he was actually getting pulled.
Dragged out
He was actually getting dragged, and I was like trying to drag this. I know this sounds crazy, but he was a non-believer. And honestly, when I told the lady this of the house, the owner, she said, well, you're not the first person who has said that about the area of which this happened in.
Right.
But she didn't go into detail to tell me what had happened, you know.
Great story, nonetheless.
So I just had to come on to tell you about it. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but
I just think all of those non-believers now out there are going, oh, hang on.
Honestly, Steve was definitely a non-believer, and honestly, nothing like that has ever happened again to any of us.
It's still a great story. Oh, it's still a great story.
You know, but it was the truth anyway.
Can I just tell you that all of the lights have just gone off in the studios?
Have they? Oh.
We are in the pitch black.
Honestly.
Absolutely. Just the last second. As soon as you said that, the lights went out.
Blimey, this is spooky, isn't it?
As long as we stay... the only light I have in front of me is the lights of the computer screens, because they're on an emergency generator thing.
Right.
Oh,
so
that's...
Have they come on?
Blimey, that's creepy.
Right, honestly, that is...
Nadine, why did you have to ring me about bad spirits and all your lights gone out? That's terrifying.
I'm really sorry.
That's all right. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers, darling. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm not kidding. If anybody's watching on the webcam, you will have seen that all of the lights in the studios have gone out. I'm trusting that the heater's still on, the bottom's still on, so the lights are out. What I'll have to do now is try very hard in the only little bit of light that I've got. Can you manage in there? How can you see anything? No. So we're going to have to try and find a candle or a torch or a something to light up your life through there. Don't know how we're going to manage. However, we'll press on. I'm not kidding. I know it would be very easy for me to say, well, it was just part of the show. But it isn't. We're in the pitch black. And also, a little note here. I got a letter from somebody, and it really annoyed me. I mean, it didn't just annoy me a little. It really annoyed me. We're trying to get this guy on the telephone now. It's from a man called John Murray. He's from Peterlee, and this is what his letter says. Dear Alan, I've listened to your show, and I think these people who say they can see ghosts are idiots. Surely they must be retarded. There is no such thing. I've lived all of my life without ever having seen, heard, or felt anything. So I dare you to take me and show me a ghost. Tie me up, bury me in a grave, anything you like. I bet you won't, though. My mates say that no one could convince me, so I know that you couldn't. Still, I wrote in, and you'll know that I did. I love the show, but I still don't believe. All the best, John Murray. Well, John Murray, at the present moment, we can't reach. We've tried calling him. Nothing's happened. And we do know kind of where he is, because he's blindfolded and gagged and in the back of a van, a blacked-out van, on his way to a place that he doesn't know. And I can't tell you where it is until we physically get him there. But as soon as he gets anywhere near, we will be talking to John Murray, the unbeliever. Now, the tough thing here, I think we're going to have to ring an engineer or somebody, because I can't see the clock, so therefore I don't know when the show's over. If that makes any sense to you. So we will endeavour to continue literally in the pitch black. I've got my screens. I've got an awful lot of things that I do have to read to you tonight, so we will hope that we can get some light onto us as soon as we possibly can. Sharon, I feel very sorry for Sharon. Anna is with us. She's just said, we've moved Anna to 8, I think. Hello, Anna.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. How are you doing? You're another one of our ghost hunters.
I am.
What's happening?
Well, we're just outside the Priory at the moment, walking around, and it's absolutely pitch black.
Great. That's perfect. Have you seen anything, felt anything? Have you separated yet?
No, not as yet, and we haven't seen anything, but we've just found our bearings, so
Lovely.
I think we'll probably be splitting up a bit later on.
Well, good luck to you. Have you got stuff to eat and drink in the...
We have, yeah. Well, we're all wrapped up and we've got our soup ready.
Good lass, because I think you're going to need it tonight, aren't you?
I think I am. It's absolutely freezing and my heart's going 10 to the dozen.
Well, no matter how dark it is there, I promise you it's as dark as that in here at the present moment.
Well, you know how I feel, Alan.
Absolutely. Well, good luck to you. I tell you,
very much.
I don't want to tell everybody where you are. I know you're next to a priory, but
Yeah.
I don't want to tell anybody because obviously they'll come looking for you. So, you're in a place where there are at least, and I know I sent you 7 or 8 ghostly things.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of stories about that place, so keep me fingers crossed for you.
Yeah, thanks, Alan.
Go out and find some.
I will do.
Thanks, darling.
See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye. Aren't people great? I just think people are great. They are, aren't they? Aren't people great? They're just diving in there and doing what they can to make life a tad more interesting. Now, Luciana in the United States of America says, Alan, you probably don't remember me, but I emailed you a while back after I visited the UK with my family, and I mentioned to you the footpaths where the bodies are buried around Hexham Abbey, where I had some strange feelings, and you told me a little about it. My family and I can't wait for your show. We're real night owls now. We love the show, and we hope you're going to spook us, please. Luciana from Venice Beach, USA. I believe that's California. So good to have you with us wherever you are on planet Earth, but just make sure if you are going to do the incantation a little bit later on that you quite simply make the room as dark as you possibly can. You need the most of light to come from a single candle. That's what makes things a little bit tricky. Also, our next caller is Chris on line 5. Hiya, Chris. Hello, Chris. Oh, hang on. Let me try again. Don't get rid of 5. Okay, who's next? Chris from Southies. I beg your pardon, I'm going to the wrong place. Hi, Chris.
Right.
Hello, what can I do for you? What you got?
I've just got this weird story thing. Right, when I came in from school, right, I fell asleep.
Right.
But I had been playing on my PlayStation.
Yes.
And I put the pad down, like, because I was dozing off, and I just left the telly on.
Right.
And, like, I heard, like, the door slam woke us up.
Uh-huh.
So when I got up, no one had been in because I've locked all the doors and that.
Right.
And the plugs had been turned off at the wall, and all my games were muddled up and everything.
Oh, weird. That is weird.
And my friend reckons that he saw a ghost in his attic.
Yeah? What's the story?
He saw beds in his attic or something, right? And he was asleep, and, like, he seen a figure, and he thought it was his brother. So he just told to get to bed.
Right.
And, like, he says that, like, sort of hide something at him.
Yeah.
And hit the blanket, and he felt it, but there wasn't out there.
So you couldn't see a single thing?
No.
Whoa. Brilliant. Hey, you've had some results without any help from me at all. That's great. Anything else then, Chris?
Can I just say that the Robert Plant gig was great?
You enjoyed it, did you?
Aye.
He's still got the voice, hasn't he?
Aye.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling. Cheers, Chris. Whew. We're in the dark. Can't see a damn thing. However, we are trying very hard to get hold of John Murray from Peterlee, who is a non-believer, and he's currently tied up. We hope to have him after this.
Trick or treat with the big one.
So I've got John Murray from Peterlee on the line now. Now, John, you don't believe in ghosts at all, do you?
No, I don't, Alan, but I must say this is a bit scary, mate.
Well, describe where you are.
I don't know where I am. I'm blindfolded.
Right.
I'm handcuffed.
Uh-huh.
And the blindfold's taped to my neck, so I can't see anything where I am.
Right.
But I've been in the back of a van for, I don't know, a good couple of hours, maybe 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where I'm supposed to be going.
Right, well...
Hang on a second.
Yeah?
I think we're stopping.
Right. Now, John...
Yeah, we're stopping.
Okay. Now, John, you sent me a stroppy letter saying anybody believing in ghosts must be retarded.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I did.
Well?
I just haven't seen anything.
Right.
And I'm in my 30s now, and I think if there was anything to be seen anywhere, we had have seen it by now.
Have you ever really looked before, though?
Well, no.
Well, you will tonight, and I'm sorry about what's going to happen. You brought it on yourself. Well, they're going to take you the rest of the way, and I'll talk to you once you're inside. I'm not going to tell you where you are yet. Not until you get inside. Well, he's there. Good news. So, John Murray Peterlee is going somewhere nasty. Not remotely nice. Nasty. You find out a bit later on. Phil from Stocksfield's next, though. Hiya, Phil.
Hello, Alan, you alright?
I'm fine.
I've got 2 stories here, right? The one's kind of short, so it won't be very long. I've been on before about ghosts, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember or not, but I was saving this one for the Halloween.
Okay.
But anyway, the long one is my Uncle John, right?
Yeah.
He's in his 50s now. He's all the way down in Potness in Devon.
Mm-hmm.
That's about 6 hours from where I am now, on the train. And anyway, I went down to see him about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he's got like a shop, and it's got 3 stories, the building.
Mm-hmm.
And he closed it down, I don't know, about 6 months ago. And it's been completely derelict since then. He still owns it, but it's, it's been locked up and everything.
Yeah.
So no one or nothing could have got in. And Ouija boards?
Yeah.
He's got one of those, at least he got one. And he wanted to sort of try it out, just as a joke. He's a perfectly normal bloke, anyway, he wanted to try this out, not, just to see what happened.
Yes.
And he tried it, and it was in this building he decided to go. And it was the 3rd floor, the top, right? And he locked the door, and the downstairs door, and the door he was in. He was with me, my dad, and my older cousin.
Right.
Anyway, the building, as I said, has been derelict for about 6 months. No one could have possibly got in. And while he was playing with this Ouija board, I refused to have anything to do with it, to honestly. I was just sort of like a bystander, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
There was this, like, really, really loud bang on the door, and there was 4 knocks on the door. And then there was, like, stairs leading up to this door. Yes, a bit like that. There were stairs leading up to the door.
Right.
And, like, they were really creaky. As I said, it's old, so they're really, really creaky. And we couldn't hear anything at all. Like, there's no one coming up and no one gone down. And there were these 4 really, really loud knocks. And there were 2 windows in the room. And it's high up, right, this building. And honestly, I swear this is true, right? Both of those windows broke. They were big stained glass windows. They both broke. But apparently absolutely no reason at all. And of course, with the Ouija board, there was no light. It was all candlelight.
Yes.
Only one candlelight. And when the windows went out, the candle went out. But the explanation for that was the fact that, like, it might have been a bit windy or something outside.
Yeah, it's possible, I suppose.
But I thought that was really, really scary.
Brilliant. Good story. What was the other one? You said you had 2.
Yeah, this is, like, it was quite short. When I used to have a Andy Morag, and I was really, really, really close to her. Not usually close to the aunties, but I was really close to her. And she lived near me, so I was, like, round there every night, talking about stuff. And as I said, we were really close.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was about, I think, 73. This was only not that long ago. It was about 2.5 months ago. And this was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I never wake up in the middle of the night. Honestly, I sleep so heavily.
Right.
And I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was about 2:04 my alarm clock said, because I've got, like, an alarm clock next to my bed,
Yes.
And I was thinking, well, why have I just woken up? That never happened. Anyway, I just went back to sleep. I thought nothing of it. And the next morning, I heard that my Auntie Morag had died. And this was, like, the person who I was closest to my whole life, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So obviously I was devastated. And then after that, I found out that it was at 2:04 at the time of death, which is exactly when I woke up.
And exactly the time that you had that?
Yeah, exactly the time I woke up in the night. Which I thought was really weird because, as I said, I never wake up. And I thought at exactly the same time.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really peculiar.
It is. Brilliant. Great stories. Thanks for coming on, Phil.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. And I think we're getting some kind of result somewhere. Our hotline's ringing off the wall. Some of our ghost hunters have picked up on some things. However, just before we do that, our head of news, Anna Thompson, is out and about. I'll find out what's happening while we go across to you, Anna.
Well, Alan, I'm standing here in the gallery of the Theatre Royal. Everything very still here after tonight's performance. All seeming quite weird, in fact, when no one's on the stage and all the audience has, in fact, gone. But with me is Greg Miller from the theatre, and it is quite eerie here on a night, isn't it?
It's really eerie, especially when we turn all the lights off. And because obviously there's no windows, you can't see your hand in front of your face. And it's really, really quite nervy.
Now, some people that have worked here have seen your very own ghost called the Grey Lady. What have they experienced?
It's more about feelings and hearing things than sightings. Our cleaners quite regularly on a morning come to do the gallery area of seating, and find one particular seat on the front row down, like that. But it can't be down because we have sprung seats that flip back. And apparently there's always a smell of roses and around where the grey lady's been.
How did it come about that she haunted here?
It's from the 1880s. There was a performance by Carl Rosa Opera, who are still around now, and they were doing a Gilbert and Sullivan Pirates of Penzance. We know all this because there are press cuttings that do exist. And there was a wardrobe mistress who fell head over heels in love with the lead man. And they were here for 4 or 5 weeks, and he promised to marry her and elope with her, and final performance came and he basically said no, go away, and she was absolutely heartbroken. And this is where the story splits into two. Some people say that she was up in the front of the gallery, kind of completely heartbroken and delirious, and she was reaching out to touch him as he was on stage during the performance, and she overbalanced and fell all the way down into the stalls and broke her neck. And the other side of the story is not that she fell, but that she threw herself hurtling into the stalls with the same outcome.
It is a very long way down there, isn't it?
It's a very, very long way down. We're actually sitting now at the edge of the gallery, and I get very nervous just looking over.
Tell me about the door scenario as well. What's been happening with the doors?
Oh, the doors. Well, because we have our telephone booking office upstairs behind where people sit in the gallery, obviously that was never there when there was no telephones in the 1880s, and so the ghost